All right. And let me just bring back up my Astro Gold here. I just want to make sure that everything, okay, so it looks like this is live streaming to YouTube. Hi guys that want to step in and hang out with me today. I'm on Zoom, which is what I usually use for my personal meetings with people. So I just thought I'd use Zoom again, considering I can pull up my my Astro Gold program to share with you guys. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about the 2022 eclipse nodal moon accesses in Taurus and Scorpio. I'm just going to get the transit chart to right now. So it looks like right now we are in a Gemini rising phase when I'm making this video. Which makes sense because I am trying to get information out to you guys. And the nodes are in the 12th house and the 6th house, which is perfect because I'm making this video kind of as a how to work with the energies behind the scenes, how to kind of use the knowledge of what the nodal accesses mean to kind of to kind of work with that energy and bring it into your real life situations, to bring it into your into manifesting. So let's first talk about what Scorpio and Taurus represents. Taurus, which is the North Node this year, represents what we should all be going towards, what we should all be working towards. But in order to go to the North Node, in order to use your Taurus axis, you have to find acceptance and perfection in the South Node, which would be themes from childhood, things that you're really, really good at doing, things that you do naturally when you feel threatened. And that axis is currently in Scorpio. So to have the accesses in Taurus and Scorpio, Taurus also lives naturally in the 2nd house. So it's all about value, things of value, monetary goods. Scorpio is the 8th house, so it's all about, you know, the goods you get from other people, the tendency in life to survive on other people in a scorpionic way. So that's just the gist of it. But we don't have to get too technical with this talk. This is more about the energies and how to best use those energies to make it easier through this year of 2022. Now, 2022 in numerology is a 6, and that's all about finding balance. So that is perfect for the nodal accesses this year, actually. With Taurus and Scorpio as the axis, first of all, you're going to have a lot of emotional pains come up. You are probably already having this because the nodes have already changed. If you use the true node, it happened at the beginning of the year. If you use the real node, it happened, or the mean node, it happened in December. But you are definitely already having feelings and energies come up surrounding hurts, surrounding ways that you were wounded, which is kind of a Pluto thing and a Scorpio thing. Things that come from with the nodal axis being the South Node for Scorpio, it would be things from your family of origin, things that you may have seen happening again and again, with Pluto being the ruling planet and Mars for Scorpio, and with Venus being the ruling planet of Taurus. There will definitely be a lot of themes that are coming up in your life, or you're thinking back on, or having pain around abuse issues, concerning males or male energies. Could be physical abuse, mental abuse, or sexual abuse with Scorpio. Monetary abuses, abuses of women in general, abuses of women and children, ways that you've lacked in your past, ways that perhaps you didn't have enough growing up, not enough motherly energies with Taurus, not enough room or support to grow in your past. So all of those themes are things that we're being asked to look at this year. So you have to kind of perfect the South Node before you can go into the North Node. And since the North Node is all about the physical, our physical life, things running smoothly and simply in our lives with Taurus, it's a very Venus energy, but it's open and allowing. And it's also knowing who you are, knowing that you're strong like the bull and strong enough to take the small steps every day to really heal those energies. Scorpio brings up stuff that we fear, that are hidden things, that are secret things, that are things that we feel shame about or pain, deep wounds, but they're brought up so that we can look at them and ultimately accept what happened and heal them. Taurus is the house and the zodiac sign of growing things. But in order to grow things, you have to get into the dirt, like you have to go down underground like Scorpio does. And you have to get those areas prepared so that they're healthy enough to grow things. So this year especially, there's going to be a lot of mental work that we're all doing behind the scenes. Since it is Scorpio with this mental triggery, painful places, and that you probably people, everyone around you is going through this. No one is talking about it most likely, unless they have strong planetary elements in Taurus, and they've kind of already worked through that Pluto energy. Yeah. So good news, guys. I have Pluto opposite my Venus all the time. So I kind of deal with these issues my whole life, and kind of with my moon in Taurus, it also, it's been hitting me home as well, really close to my home. I have Mercury with my moon, so it's been affecting my children and literally my ability to communicate with you guys. Since Christmas, you guys have most likely had a lot of emotional shakeups in your life. And I'm here to say that, like, there was a lot of pain that everyone was going through, and we were all going through that pain in order to see what we really valued, in order to kind of like be able to purge the things that were just too much in our life, in order to make our life simpler. Like Taurus is a very simple sign. And once you go through the depths of Scorpio and really look at the places that you might not want to look, at the places that hurt too much to look. I've done charts lately that have the Scorpio axis up in the 12th house, representing for certain people, like sexual abuse that they were never able to talk about. And that is manifesting because of the planetary alignments with fear, fears for other children in their life, fears that, you know, other people are going to get hurt and they're not going to be able to help them. There's a lot of fear. So however you were hurt, you will have a fear around that. And this year is your year to see that your biggest pains and your biggest hurts and your biggest wounds are also your biggest gifts, because those are the things that you will be able to be a strength for others around with just being who you are, as opposed to sinking down. I know a lot, I've been abused. And when you're an abused person, there's so much shame around it. Like shame around the fact that you should have been able to bring yourself out of that spot, or why did I allow myself to be in that area? And I want you to know, to work with those kind of Pluto energies, you really have to talk about your experience. Like your biggest thing about those kind of experiences is not to live in the shame, to really feel the pain that you went through for yourself. Sometimes we try and block things away when they're so hurtful or so injuring. But the North Node in Taurus is asking you, Taurus rules the throat, to actually verbalize, yes, I was hurt in this way. And also verbalize and hold space with Venus for yourself and for your own body. Really just doing some self-care, acknowledging that, the shit was terrible that happened. Everyone has an injury with Scorpio or Pluto. Everyone has wounds there. So that's really being brought up this year. And you could actually be seeing cycles reproduce from your past, whatever happened in childhood, however you were hurt or maybe not seen or heard or felt invisible or felt like you couldn't stand up on your own, whatever fears you had in childhood, of speaking, of showing up, of being a male, expressing your emotions, all those things are coming up now. It's like the universe with this access is asking you, hey, remember this cycle? Remember this terrible thing? Have you healed that yet? Did you think you healed that? Because I'm going to bring another same situation in. And you're going to be asked with Taurus to stand up for yourself. I will note that the star Algol, the most terrible star in astrology, is hanging out in Taurus on the North Node right now. And Algol is all about, not being able to speak, being victimized and not being able to speak. So, it also signifies alcohol. So that's just a huge warning. Like, that's not the way. I know with a lot of pains, there's just been so much going on that a lot of people are finding the need to numb out those energies. I always found that people that are addicts or users or addicted to anything that kind of takes them out and dispuses all those hard energies are actually people that have a lot of that just have big emotions, that just feel so much. And it's really hard to be a person that feels so much. So I'm just going to hold space for that. It's hard to live in this society when you feel so much. So what we're being asked to do this year especially is talk about all of our wounds, so that other people feel empowered, that it's okay to talk about these things. It's okay to look at the things that are under the surface. It's okay to talk about death. It's okay to talk about abuse. It's okay to talk about sexuality. It's okay to be who you are and be strong in that, and know that the things that happen to you, your wounds, they don't make you. Our school is hard, and without making mistakes, we don't learn. So I always say to people, Scorpio always also, signifies shame. So whatever you have in your Scorpio or whatever Pluto's going around right now, there could be a lot of shame that you weren't able to stand up for something or somebody. And I'm saying you have to let that go. Like, first of all, you have to be kind to yourself before you can even help other people. You can't overwork yourself. You can't exhaust yourself before you can take care of your group. And that's also just so represented with this axis. So I think we know a lot about Scorpio, the fear of death, the fear of dying can be replaced with a deep knowing in yourself that nothing ever, even if your physical body, which would be the Taurus axis, even if your physical body dies, which would be the Scorpio axis, it's scientific fact that like energy is not ever created and never goes away. It just changes forms. And like just a fun scientific fact, when a person at the moment of death, weight and volume actually leave a person's body, which of course no one can prove that it's the soul because we're not that far yet, but it is enough to give kind of something to grasp onto if you need that kind of science in your beliefs. We're all made of waves anyway, so what we feel as being like solid is just a bunch of molecules like bouncing around, creating resistance. So that's kind of the trick of the trick of reality, that nothing's actually material anyway. So we, are still in a time where people don't know that they will survive. They don't know. There's some people are really stuck in the Scorpio side of this axis, in the old way of doing things, in the way where we had to analyze to figure out how things exactly would be, where we had to like know things would work out before we actually went towards them. And I'm going to tell you that if you've made it past that point, if you've made it past the fear of having to know, and the fear of not having stability, you have a gift that you should be speaking about to others. You have some kind of gift that you can bring to the collective right now. And I feel that is your work to do. We have been through transits that kind of bring us to this place right now. We had all of our for sure things shaken up with the Cancer Capricorn eclipses. That is when everything started shutting down, when people were secluded from family, when people had to find kind of their own gifts and new ways of doing things. And everyone went through that pretty successfully. And a lot of people found a beauty in their life that they didn't know that, they were interested in. And it was really simple things. Then we went through the Gemini Sagittarius eclipse axes, where it was what you believe, and a lot of people trying to like push their personal beliefs on other people, and a lot of confusion with the facts with the Gemini, like two sides of facts that are differing, that can go either way, and kind of a battle just between the two sides, those two mutable signs. There was a lot of conflict there, just a lot of conflict in the world, a lot of facts this way, a lot of facts that way, a lot of spiritual people this way, a lot of spiritual, like it was just division or bringing together, depending upon how you worked with those energies. So I know a lot of astrologers come on here and talk a lot about the specifics of those particular axes, like what they represent to your sign, what they do. I just want to give you, especially with Scorpio, just being such a difficult energy if you don't know how to go towards it. I just want to give you a layman's way on some of the themes that would be coming up emotionally, and really how to grow yourself through that. So if you're having a lot of struggle, a lot of people are going to have mental struggles throughout 2022. We're already seeing it. The Mars is having a 2-year stint in Libra right now. It just got done with its Virgo stint, which would be all about the healthcare workers and, kind of attacks on our health, which we just saw. So that will be actually getting better. And I think people have found their way to self-heal, or at least bring down that energy to a healing level for themselves and find that Virgo balance. Now the Mars is doing a 2-year stint, even though Mars right now is in Capricorn. Mars as a cycle is starting in Libra. So a lot of the Libra type people are going to have a lot of stress on them. Like our teachers are just, exhausted, like mentally. Our police officers are having battles that are not just in all cases, because our society is grouping people together by, one incident or this incident or that incident. And that's really hard, because Librans, especially people in Libra type positions, psychologists, like mental health workers, people that try and find balance and equality in the world, are just really going to be active. And I hope that we're able to see that and kind of have empathy for that, because going through Pluto cycles, also being hurt in certain ways, actually makes us gentler as human beings and able to empathize with other people. So I'm hoping that by looking deeply at everyone's individual wounds, it's our responsibility to do that for ourselves. To definitely ask for help. Scorpio is all about keeping it in. Taurus is all about, bulls live in herds. They live in community. They're stronger in community. And it's all about speaking, like find people that can help you. There's definitely people with the North Node in Taurus this year that will, be willing, that will resonate with whatever you're saying. They'll be attracted to you naturally. And there will be people that will help build you up with their words, with their knowledge, personal friends that will bring that love and that stability to you when you need it. I've talked in my previous talks about, finding the people that would fight a lion for you at your door. Finding your closest groups and allies, and just, having people. I am probably the most introverted person, but I bring myself out of my spaces of seclusion, so that I can use my words to strengthen other people. And if you guys have places that you've been hurt, use your words to uplift other people, because that is the gift that you give to the collective, which will make people around you stronger, and it will go out like a ripple and affect the good of the whole, which is especially important considering we have Saturn still sitting around in Aquarius right now. If you want to, this year will be all about building things in the physical plane. It'd be that building yourself, or rebuilding communities, or rebuilding building close like spiritual communities, or just building a home, or building a feeling of safety around you and your family. There's going to have to be a trust with Taurus on the North Node, that just because things happen in the past, the fact that you made it through those wounds has made you stronger. There's whenever I think of Scorpio or wounds, I always think of an agate. Like, its literal strength and beauty is built up by the many layers of crap that it's endured. It makes it stronger. It makes it, it gives it a strength, and it builds up its beauty in itself. And then people are naturally attracted to that kind of energy. People that have gone through the most, the gentlest people I found, the most empathetic people, the people who have not had the easiest life, the people that have grown up with lots of struggles. Well, this is your year. Because the things that will come up this year, you've already dealt with so much more. So have faith in that, and know that you have strength in that, and that anything that comes towards you, you can deal with it when it's in front of you. Don't fear things that haven't happened yet. Don't fear stories that might happen, because it's literally undue suffering. And when you're always like the Scorpion, and I'm not saying that Scorpio is not a beautiful sign, that Scorpio can be, Scorpio is a beautiful sign. It's all about getting deep if you use those energies in a correct way, and recycling pain into something that will grow. So if you wanted to do a physical like manifestation of this to represent how you plan on working with the energies on a bodily basis, it would be amazing if you had a compost. If you wanted to do something to represent your wounds, you could literally like write them down, and then either compost that paper, destroy the paper, burn the paper, put the ashes in a plant. Those are all excellent ways to work with the Scorpio energy. Right now, I am finding a lot of healing in totally revamping my parents' house. Both my parents are passed, so that does hold some pain for me, but I'm able to like physically transmute that energy and bring something more beautiful forth from that pain. And, not be stuck in it, not be stuck in that place. I find that getting personal is being vulnerable, even though I'm a totally private person, is a part of kind of associating and, talking about your wounds makes it strong for other people. So personally, around the new year, my children's dad passed away. in a very tragic, sad accident. And so we could, stay in the Scorpio sadness of that loss part, or we could physically do something about it, which in my way is, making videos about the axis for you, and talking about my pain, and also for my children, my younger child in specifically, who is a Scorpio rising and has a moon in Taurus, so it's hitting her very hard. She is dedicated to speaking about her pain, so she can heal healthily, to honor her father, which I think is a beautiful thing, to grow something out of that tragedy. And then at some point, I have zero doubt that she will be able to give words to someone else that has felt that kind of loss as well. Because she's a very helper person, even though she doesn't, with the Scorpio rising, she doesn't like to push her problems on other people. She's just a pleaser. I have no doubt that her pain will manifest into a strength, and she will be able to bring kindness to other people through that. She's already doing it because she, she's worried about like her grandma, of course, and her brother, and she's got to check on these people, and that's a beautiful thing. But I also remind her to hold space for her own loss, not just everybody else's. Sometimes Scorpios make jokes of things, like I have to, even if you have to make jokes of things, at least don't hide away your losses when you speak of them, when you mourn things, when you let people know how upset you are about something. It's to make that sacrifice of your own privacy is to make something sacred. So that's what my children are doing right now. And it's been super tough, but so I guess in a way, that's why I'm here, to kind of tell you guys examples of things that might come up if you've lost people in your family. There are ways that you can bring their loss and manifest a beautiful legacy for them. Thich Nhat Hanh just passed away in the month too, transitioned, because he's a Buddhist, and I talk about him all the time. If I give you a reading, I always give you No Mud, No Lotus, which is one of his books, and it's all about transforming suffering. And he said, he would say that when he passes away, that his energy is carried on by the people that loved him. So know that if you lost a person, their energy is carried on by you, by the way that they affected you, and the way that that loss affected you, and made you mourn. It's like a candle that it's like a ripple. If they affected you, you should go out and the same things that you loved about them, you can be that light to further those things in the world. And he said that, I always live on with everyone that loved me, everyone that I affected, like how I affected them ripples out into the way that they treat other people. And as is the same with your loved one. If you are going through that kind of loss or feeling that pain come up this year as well, the way that they affected your life, that made you love them so much, you can give that kindness and that same kind of energy to other people in a legacy to your loved one. And that really helps transform that energy. with Pluto, anywhere that's getting highlighted, you're asked to accept what is gone, and you are asked to transform and grow other people with your loss. So if you are able to do these things with your own pains, or help other people in some way by speaking about your pains this year, you are going to be able to open the North Node access. Things will naturally kind of build up and fall in place for you. This will probably be a year when you decide to simplify your life, because everything was so hectic with the last axis. People are just really spending a lot of time at looking at what they need, like what do they need? And sometimes just going with what you need to feel comfortable, to feel loved and well taken care of, and sometimes to minimize to those needs, just really like makes life flow a lot easier. You don't have to worry about paying off the Maharati or whatever, it's all about simplifying this year. So I think you'll also see a lot of people simplifying their homes, making their homes more comfortable. Taurus is all about textures and feelings, and kind of like nature's interactions in a Venus-y way. So you're going to find that like natural foods will be important this year. Not things that are processed a lot. People are going to be more drawn towards natural foods, doing the extra work it takes, because bulls will work. They'll go steadily towards their goal, and it won't happen overnight. But if you have something that you want to grow in the physical world this year, you can plan it with the Scorpio axis, but then do the little steps day to day and use the Taurus North Node to your advantage. Nothing is undoable or out of your reach this year. There can be a lot of healing, of a lot of strife, but that needs to come with a lot of empathy. If you think of Taurus was used sacrificially historically. So there is, when you have nodal axes, there's a similarity between the two. So in your Taurus house, you might have felt loss on the physical of material things. But also Tauruses are simple for that reason. Tauruses are like the country boy. I don't know a Taurus that is not totally comfortable with nature. Just it's almost like Tauruses need to be in nature. They like the woods. They like doing their own foods. They like farming and just anything simple and good. Now Uranus is in Taurus right now, so you might, use tech to help you get what is simple and good. For example, I got a hydroponics thing because I super like spinach and basils and all those things. And I have fish, so it works out good because I can feed them naturally, and then be able to produce food on the material level by recycling that in a techie kind of way. A lot of people will be with Uranus and Taurus, going towards solar, of course, this year, going towards things that are more streamlined with the earth, using tech to their advantage, to bring around about innovations in just general well-being. You could find tech things. There's actually tech things to help you ground. Meditation apps, breathing apps. Just apps and texts to help keep you grounded, to make life more simple, to keep things more streamlined, but not in like a crazy complex, like Gemini way. No offense, Geminis, love you. But the mind wants to be a lot grounded this year. The mind wants to be more nurtured and quiet and just sure of itself this year. So if you can bring that into the mix, that's going to open you up. Taurus is all about, it represents the Empress in tarot. So it's all about opening up and allowing. But to become the Empress, she went through a lot of crap. But because of the crap that she went through, she knows that anything that comes her way, she's going to be able to deal with. Because it's not your first rodeo, right, guys? Yeah, and the Empress is not afraid to give freely either. She doesn't hold things back thinking that there's going to be a lack. The Empress freely gives of themselves. So that's what the North Node is asking you to do. Don't hold back things, or like hoard toilet paper, or like any of those things. Because trust that when you freely give your gifts or your extra abundance to other people, naturally the energy is going to come back to you. And that's in like every spiritual literature you ever wrote, or just general, laws of the universe. So I'm asking you guys to go with your Taurusy nature. Acknowledge that Earth School is hard, but you are still here, and you are still definitely here for a reason, and that you have things, you have a value to you that you can share with your family, that you can build stability on, that you can manifest comfort with. And it's going to be able to come this year if you go towards that. This is a huge year of building things, building structures. The old structures are kind of crumbling. It is United States' Pluto return, which will turn exact on the 22nd of this month. So the things that we depended upon in the past that were most likely corrupt in some way, or like they are kind of being shaken up, so that we can decide as a community and as a collective what we can come together on, what is important as core values in our family, in our communities, and in the nation. And that doesn't have to come in a way that destroys everything. Do we have enough confidence in ourselves to actually find a place as human beings to survive together and not care about our differences? Like, that's what we're being asked this year, to build a new strong foundation and to decide it with everyone. Okay, guys, I think that is all I have today. It is like finally 40 degrees in Minnesota today. So I'm going to try and get some outside stuff done. My dog did not visit. He's laying on the floor next to me, but being very quiet and good. And if you guys have anything that is currently coming up in your life, such as cycles from your past, when you heal, oh, now he's going to talk. Now he's going to use his voice. Kuma, come here. Come in. If you have any cycles coming up, I found when you heal a cycle and you find really find strength in who you are, the universe will bring it back to you and be like, oh, are you sure you're this person? Like, are you sure you're this strong? So just to let you know, yeah, you are, I guess. But if you guys have any tough wounds that, you know, you're willing to share, certainly share them in your favorite group. I would certainly love to hear them if you're willing to get like so utterly public. And I will definitely hold space for those wounds. Because that's, we should all be holding space for how hurt and wounded we've all been. We should all hold empathy with that. And build each other up as opposed to tearing each other down this year. So that's all I have. That is my advice for the no access to you, how to best work with this energy. I suddenly have a Reiki friend, guys. It's a weird story. I could explain it if she comes, if Riley comes on, but I'm kind of going to try and talk them into doing an actually Reiki healing for this kind of access for you guys. And that is totally my clue to stop this, stop the sharing here. My dog's going crazy. If you have any questions about what your Scorpio and Taurus house would be, I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. Other than that, I love you guys and I hope you have